It's not surprising that people actually want to see what they're buying. Did you know that 83% of online buyers considering images the most important factor of whether they will actually purchase something? Yeah, because they want to see it. It's not difficult. Or is it? How can you show your products off in the best possible light without needing to hire a professional photographer every time you make something? It's a simple question. So today we're going to answer it. Today we're going to learn exactly what you need and how you're going to achieve this at home simply with everyday items. We're not going to get any big gear out, okay? We're going to do this quite simply with a phone and some items that you have lying around the house. Let's get to it. If you're new here, hi, I'm Robyn, and I help you take photos that you don't hate. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments below and make sure you hit like because you should like this, okay? We're going to keep it short and sweet. First thing, what you're going to need various backgrounds. Tabletop, carpet, fabric, wood, decking from outside, a chopping board, take your pick. If you don't know where to get a decent one, or if you really, really hate all of those and want something half decent, then make sure you check out the video on my favourite photography backdrops because they're amazing. You're going to need a window. Light doesn't magically come from anywhere, and no, we will not be using any professional gear for this because why should you? You have a window or a door. Both of these work. You go buy it, and if you need to, open the door and you have light. If you don't understand the basics of lighting, then you really should check out that video because knowing how to do it is probably a really good place to start. But before you run away on that one, let's continue this. A reflector, okay? So a piece of white card, a piece of tin foil, piece of paper, don't need anything fancy. Hold it up on the angle, light will bounce naturally, it'll do its own thing. Finally, the one thing that I would kind of recommend people do, especially if you're going for the smaller things, tacky wax. Absolutely amazing. Works a treat. Wedded with blue tack or sticky tape. You can barely see it. It's great to play with and it works a treat, especially for those smaller all round things. If you're on cosmetics or basically anything that's round, works a treat. So first thing you're gonna need to do, and I hate to tell you this, you're gonna need a plan. Okay, if you don't have a plan, you're gonna fail. Okay, it's just the way it goes because realistically you want to be consistent. By being consistent, it means you're going to do the same thing every time. So if you have a plan and you have a checklist, you don't need to stress about this. And this is the first thing we teach you guys on how to make sure that you get decent product photos for whether you want to take better Etsy shops photos or listings or Shopify or whatever. Okay, be consistent. It is really, really the be all and end all. Having a consistent plan is going to make life a lot easier because it takes all the guesswork out. You know exactly what you're going to do. You can get yourself into a nice little routine. You don't have to stress and you don't double question everything you do. Pro tip number 2, use the same style of shots. You should have a consistent approach. We're going back to the first one, that consistent approach of what shots angles you're going to use. So you've already got your backdrop sorted, you've already got your lighting sorted because you know roughly where the light's going to be because it's going to be coming through a window, so therefore your directional light is already set up for you. You've just got to make sure that you diffuse any harsh shadows. Simple enough, either move out of the direct sun into what we call open shade or pop yourself some kind of diffusing material up like a white sheet, which pillowcase. That's why we have white curtains in this room, because it's just easier. So you're going to need to have that consistent shot. Okay, so quite literally you're going to want something like a white background, some kind of stop motion or 360 video. You're going to want a lifestyle shot, close-up detail shots, the process in which it's going to be made or used, group variations so that you can show off your collections, scale. People like to know how big these things are, so therefore seeing it in its environment or next to something that's obvious and relevant is going to help you do this. Some kind of flat lay is really, really useful for branded stuff, and just overhead shots in general just work well in certain scenarios. The packaging in which it comes in, and then if you really, really want to push the boat out, some kind of commercial, pretty editorial shot that will be your hero shot, basically, that you can use to advertise. So those are the shots that you need, but you need to make sure that you're using the same ones every single time, okay? It's really, really important to kind of master lighting on this one. So again, be consistent in your lighting. If you want to play with shadows and get a bit more fun, play with shadows and be a bit more fun. You don't want to do that, that's fine too. You don't have to. Have a consistent approach for the kind of things you're doing. You want a soft, even light to begin with, and then once you've mastered that, you can then move on to the other ones. The last pro tip I will give you is the biggest reason why people get a little bit pissed off and return stuff is because people have edited their photos wrong. So the white balance is off and therefore colours don't appear to be the natural colour that they are. You've over exaggerated on something, whether it be, you know, it's normally colour, to be honest. It's normally your white balance is wrong and therefore you've messed up on the you've over coloured it in one way or another, and therefore it's not a true reflection of what turns up on the day. It's as simple as that. Now, what I will say to you is, obviously, being able to nail down the step-by-step of how to do these things. Obviously, if you want to do a white balance, we've got a video on that, and I'll show you my little cheat way of doing it, basically. But the others can get a bit more complex because it depends on what you're doing. It depends on how you're doing it. So what I will say to you is, we've broken this down for you into kind of a cheat sheet and then put all of those cheat sheets together into what I call my playbook. It's called Perfect Product Photos, and I want to show you what basically it gives you to see if this would be beneficial for you. Lots of people have commented really nice things about it and how useful it is to kind of, they don't have to remember it, because that was one of the hardest things they said to me. It was kind of like, they didn't particularly wanted to have to remember how to do these things. So having the planning sheet and having those things outlaid so they knew exactly step by step on, you know, what background to pick, what angle to shoot at, what camera settings works in this environment, and how to do from this. Having that starting point was really beneficial for them, along with the 10 different shots that you can obviously do. With that full breakdown of each one of those 10 shots, we also talked to you about some photography marketing hacks, and how to create images even without a camera for those days when, you know, all you actually want to do is curl up with a bottle of wine and a pudding, and your laptop, because we don't always feel like shooting. And, you know, batching is still one of the best ways I say that we should do this. But check out Perfect Products, okay? It is one of those, it's an affordable way of making sure that you've got your notes and a way to plan so that you can get that consistent approach and obviously make more money in your Etsy shops or your Shopify shops to make sure that you get the sales at the end of the day. But try not to over these things. What I will say to you finally is the number one reason why I see people not improving on their product photos is they don't actually get feedback. Getting feedback is absolutely imperative. So if you would like some feedback on your product shots and would like to know where you're going wrong, because it's very hard to know where you're going wrong if you don't know. It's as simple as that. But having done this now for many years, I can pretty much look at a photo and kind of go, yeah, that's your problem. So if you would be interested, the first 10 people to comment down below with a description of your Etsy shop or your Shopify shop, I'll drop you a quick comment on and some feedback, and then we can obviously have a conversation because I love giving feedback to you guys. So make sure you drop a comment below with your shop details, and I will take a look at those and let you know. And then go check out Perfect Products because it's going to help you. I promise. I promise it will help you, okay? And I'm here to support you guys. Go now. Go have a look. Go.